going on, y'all? Sorry about that. My fucking Wi-Fi on my phone's taking forever. But we back. We back with some Abin Preach and some Diddy updates, or it was probably some updates, but also their general thoughts, which is easier for me to get through than watching Long Crime. Although I do want to catch up on Long Crime, but that's different because a different day. Because we also got bars, and I don't want to be all politics mind or lawyer mind and shit for bars. So we're gonna catch the update with Amber and Preach, the goats of all time. Lego.
If, but how long?
Forever!
Now, I've been following this case, doing my research, learning all the small little details involved.
Thank you.
Rubbing baby oil on myself just to get in the mind, the mind of a predator.
That's
a slick,
why are you talking in my face
predator?
Like that? Nigga, get the
Pick
Oh, you don't like me?
Test this. No, it's still the Diddy stuff. It's just we're getting it from them instead of directly from Long Crime. It feels like it's a lot easier for me to take it that way. And I feel like I have a lot more to add or whatever the hell. How you doing, Pickle? Yeah, P Diddy's gonna be the Diddy trial's supposed to be 8 weeks long, and this is just the middle. This is not even the middle. It's the beginning of the second week, so it's gonna be going on for a minute unless something fucking crazy happens.
Your boundaries?
nigga.
That's how Cassie felt.
This is fighting. This is fighting.
This is fighting?
This is fighting.
Yo, let me take you shopping.
Oh my God!
Take
Get
you
the
shopping.
fuck off me, nigga.
Shopping.
The fuck
Let me take you shopping, nigga.
Why you gotta be so aggressive?
Yo, he 50 Cent won 100%. Dog, I just saw this fucking thing yesterday. No, actually, I just showed fucking Tyree yesterday. It's fucking tweet that 50 Cent put up about when Diddy tried to get him to come over for drinks at like 2 in the morning. Like, what the fuck? And fucking 50 Cent today was wearing a free Diddy shirt for $20.
I like it when you get angry, daddy. I like it when you get angry, daddy.
Play the clip.
Yo, this ain't trafficking.
Play the clip.
Yeah, bro, go ahead. Let me know how it goes.
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, when you put my bag
Daddy,
in,
I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
I like it when you move like that, daddy. Yo, it was weird watching hip hop niggas call each other daddy all like,
Yeah.
like it was
That's
okay.
not. It's not them.
Nah,
calling
I'm
each
sorry.
Other. It was not
I
them,
looked at
no.
Fabulous and everyone in that room, Nori, all of them differently after that.
They just didn't do shit. That's okay. You know what? That's how powerful Diddy was.
He got these rap dudes.
These rap dudes that did things when they were kids. And now it's like, oh, I can't. This motherfucker might blow
Maybe
my
50
car.
can spot
They
me.
stayed silent.
I
They
think
just
blowing
look
up
at
their
each-
car is the least of their worries. They were worried he's going to try to blow something else against their wheel.
Their butt.
Yeah. Make sure they all oiled up, dolled up, ready to inflate. Now, with that in mind,
Oh, a couple of pumps? Is that what you're saying?
getting back to the serious things.
Take that.
I think I've been hearing a lot of chatter, and I wanted to kind of address it because I
Go
think
ahead.
there's a lot of misconceptions. People who believe that this is just a domestic violence case are incredibly wrong. For this
Incredibly
video,
wrong.
I want you guys to not think necessarily and focus in
Ridiculously
on Cassie
wrong.
and whether or not she's the perfect victim. Let's look at the totality of what's involved in
they're
versus
so
charges
wrong,
and
they
what
should not be able to
evidence has been
vote.
brought forth so far. Let's focus on that because that's going to be the big sole determiner of whether or not he's going to be found guilty. And a lot of it, I'll be honest with you, they could have ran this case without Cassie. But the other stuff they got, that's the baby oil. So the testimony that we've heard so far has a lot of people convinced
Fucking
that this is
bars.
just a DV situation, but it's not. And the reason why is if you have an understanding of what the charges are laid against him, you understand that one, they've already
Yes,
done a
that
lot
too.
of legwork to prove racketeering.
Listen, I am not opposed to exile. Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence. You know what I'm saying? Now they could just believe that and just be wrong, and that's kind of different, right? But if you're like maliciously, like really trying to get like this as like this is what it is, like by ignoring everything else, no, you can get the fuck out.
Which is the RICO charge, and also prove the
Thanos was right.
charges of trafficking. Now, a lot of you don't believe that, but I'll explain how the violence ties into everything. So, if we look at what Diddy's being charged with, he's actually quite a few things. There's racketeering and conspiracy, okay? So, racketeering and conspiracy, which is the RICO charge. And to understand
This nigga said, hold on.
things, there's racket.
The paper said Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love. I never heard him go by PD or just Love. I heard Brother Love, but not just Love.
Racketeering and conspiracy, okay? So racketeering conspiracy, which is the RICO charge. And to understand what a RICO charge is, a RICO case requires at least 2 related crimes within 10 years of...
Right. I watch Law and Crime for like the direct, like what's happening, like straight from the credible news source. Obviously, I've Preach are credible, but they break things down like differently, right? Like Abba said, he did all the research. I go into Law and Crime blind, right? It is a lot different. Exactly, to understand more, exactly.
Of each other, showing a pattern of ongoing illegal activity linked to an enterprise that affects interstate commerce. In this case, basically, Sean Combs is the head of an organization, and through his staff and his orders, he ran a criminal enterprise. Now, you guys might not believe that, but understand what the 2 crimes that they need to prove. For those who believe that there's no RICO involved in this, I can tell you for certain that they're going to have him on narcotics distribution, and they're also going to have him, there's also one for prostitution.
Diddy is indicted for a total of 8 predicate RICO charges, those being acts of kidnapping, acts of arson, bribery, obstruction of justice via
Prostitution's the
evidence
easiest one to
tampering,
get, I bet.
forced labor, sex trafficking, transportation for purposes of prostitution and possession with intent to distribute cocaine, oxy, MDMA, or ecstasy, among others.
This is where things in regards to the...
Do me a favor, Pickle. Find out if this word is bigger than that one like biggest word in the English language. I forget what the fucking word's called, but this is a big ass word.
Ecstasy, among others.
I want you to put this shit in a fucking rap somewhere.
This is where things in regards to the racketeering get interesting.
Nah,
They're
he
gonna
ain't,
have him on the
dog.
prostitution
Ain't no
as well.
way.
And the reason being is they have the escorts. They can prove that they traveled across state lines based on plane tickets and all that stuff. They're gonna have, I think they're gonna have like 7 or 8 different prostitutes that they hired testifying in this case.
They already had
so
the
they're
one.
gonna have him on that charge, okay? And then the distribution of narcotics, if you guys remember on one of the first days, they had an FBI agent come, and when they went to his hotel room in 2024, they actually confiscated a large amount of drugs, which they showcased. So the reason why they had that person testify that everyone glossed over is they're setting up all the elements needed to prove racketeering. The idea that you guys believe that there is none involved, you guys are not paying that close attention in regards to everyone that they're bringing up. The prosecution is laying out an ironclad case.
Listen, I can barely read normal fucking length words. There's no way I'm gonna pronounce that in one shot or 15. I'm not gonna hold you. Thank you though.
I think that most people that are saying that don't even follow the case.
Now, I just mentioned those 2, which are pretty much guaranteed. There's also bribery. The hotel staff member...
Did you actually type that out or did you copy paste that? I really need to know.
who witnessed Diddy beat Cassie, and then Diddy asked him, listen, I'll give you money, just get rid of the tape. That man is also testifying that Diddy tried to bribe him. The employees who are part of the racketeering conspiracy of Diddy, a lot of them are testifying in the case about how Diddy got them to go up to people and silence them with money, pay them off. So they're going to have bribery also in
the
this.
employees what we know.
So
but there's a whole bunch of
and also, Cassie's already, I believe, testified to the fact that Diddy's paid people off. So you're having everyone corroborate what is the case against Diddy by the state.
I'm sure there's a common Spanish word that's fucking longer than that. Or phrase.
So that's 3.
Is your girl on tonight? Or she just happens to not be on tonight?
Obstruction of justice. They have Diddy in trying to intimidate, trying to pay off witnesses in this. That is obstruction of justice. If you try to destroy evidence in relation to this case, that is obstruction of justice. It'll be very easy, in my opinion, to have them prove this as well.
Can't protect you from baby oil and Diddy, but we can protect you while you're surfing the internet thanks to today's sponsor, Surfshark.
And while I'm abroad doing gay stuff with my girl, I cannot enjoy the program that I'm watching back home. Because you are in the country that you're in, they say that the content that you are trying to access is not available in your country.
Is she popular?
What I suggest to you is
I
the
think she got like
VPN. That's the wonderful thing.
Like more than 10.
It saves me when I'm on the trip and I want to enjoy my program. I want to be able to watch
or like
things, my
Gamester size.
what I'm talking about. So I'm able to change the location of where my
No,
my
really. I should
computer
get there.
is, so
I'm
it
sure
thinks
she'll
it's in
get
another
there.
country. Or I can save on the plane fares that I'm trying to get. I'm trying to access that by changing the location of where you are. You can have additional discounts on your plane fares. And while you're abroad doing gay stuff with your wife, you're going to be able to surf the internet.
So she has 99. She has damn near 1,000 subs, but only like few concurrent watchers. That's interesting. I wonder why. Oop, wrong button. Oh, that's definitely the wrong button. Shit.
Quite a few things. There's racketeering and conspiracy. Okay, so racketeering conspiracy, which is the RICO charge.
Of Surfshark. Boom!
And this doesn't even include the trafficking portion. Understand, Cassie's not the only girl. There's multiple other women who have similar stuff that are going to be participating in this trial.
Actually,
and this is where I talk about the violence aspect.
Did she put her shit up on YouTube? Because we could watch and see and give her some fucking free promo. I ain't shit either, but still.
The aspects of trafficking that is really important. Accused of coercing victims into commercial sex acts through threats, violence, and drug use. There's a lot of testimony from people that Diddy was pushing drugs onto Cassie. There is video evidence of Diddy beating her. And people say it's just domestic.
Let me get that YouTube name.
In front of the escorts. So the escorts are present. They're saying she didn't want to do certain things or she was unhappy with certain things. And Diddy would her into submission for her to engage in the commercial sex
didn't one couldn't get a hard on?
He couldn't get a hard on.
Yeah, but she puts her shit up on YouTube. I could just watch what she puts up on YouTube. It don't gonna be right now.
Ruined the freak off. And so everyone was upset.
It don't be live, I mean.
You're not gonna fuck the girl beat to a pulp?
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's a disgusting waste of very good baby oil. I would be upset too.
It's a waste of good baby oil.
Understand that anyone who's saying this is just about domestic violence, you're incredibly wrong. Now, you can say a lot of things about Cassie and her credibility. I'm going to be right there with you, even though I don't believe this. I'm going to give it to you. Let's say Cassie's not the most credible, that maybe she participated in all this stuff. That has no bearing on Diddy's crimes himself and whether or not he's guilty. We can have a different discussion about, her and her role in this and whether or not she'd be charged, and I'll do a separate video on that. But I'm just talking about whether or not Diddy's going to be involved in guilty. We can have a different discussion about, her and her role in this and whether or not she'd be charged, and I'll do a separate video on that. But I'm just talking about whether or not Diddy's going to be involved in doing prison time and whether or not this is domestic violence, as a lot of you are claiming. So let's go to the next one. Transportation to engage in prostitution. This is also something he's being charged with, which is he's involved in transporting individuals across state lines for commercial sex acts. This is also called the Mann Act. A lot of people are not aware because they be DMing me, but it's illegal to pay prostitutes to sleep with you. It's illegal for them to do that job, and it's illegal for you to get that. And it becomes an even bigger issue if they go to travel across state lines to do it, hence the federal charge. I don't understand how he'll get off on this charge. The prostitutes involved are all admitting that Diddy paid them. They also have Cassie admitting to it. So two of the people who were banging are all admitting to who did it. They have hotel receipts. There's manifestos. There's no way he's getting off on this charge either.
Yeah, and no, not at all.
Diddy was directing a lot of this stuff for his own enjoyment.
We don't pay for that shit. We work for it. We earn that shit. Because ain't nothing better than pussy you earned.
So everyone involved, including all the receipts and money and camera work, will put Diddy there because Diddy recorded a lot of these segments. He recorded a lot of these acts.
And they got the evidence.
And they got those tapes. So this charge alone, if I remember correctly, it could go from anywhere from 1 year to 10 years in federal prison. And he's going to be found guilty of that. So that's why I said it's not a question of if he's going to jail, it's just how long.
So the big question is
how long he will survive.
I think he's going to
That's the question.
25 to life. Okay.
No, I think he's getting life. So when they're going to sentence him, they're just going to sentence him to life. That's really what I believe based off what I've already seen so far. Because
yeah, I feel like I'm sure it's happened before. Like you'll get put up on it may just, let's say for a hypothetical, it's a domestic abuse case that goes there's a certain statute of limitations for sentencing for that. But if any offense is egregious enough, the judge has the power to extend it based off the surrounding context and shit. With all this shit going on, no, he's gonna say, you know what? even with all this shit, you're going away regardless. It doesn't matter at this point. That's not even obstruction of justice. That's just you. This is evidence of you being a bad person, like an awful individual. Like, get out of here. For a long time, for a very, very long time, he's been this way, and I don't think anybody would be mad about it.
These federal charges are incredibly bad, and because of the gravity of his violence involved in this, and there's video evidence, it's so repugnant. I have a hard time believing any judge would ever give him a chance to get out. I think the only way he doesn't get life, to be honest, is if he pleads out and then he starts to.
If he does a plea deal.
Yeah.
But then he's because usually the plea deal is for when they can catch a bigger fish.
No. That's one way. But plea deals, sometimes prosecutions, if they don't want to take any chances, they'll offer a plea deal in those situations to just guarantee a conviction, right? But because this is so high profile, I'll be honest with you, I don't think they have any incentive to do it. And because they're so confident about their case, I also don't think
what would be the incentive of giving him a plea? Like, what is he going to plead?
I think in this situation, I don't think there is much. But plenty of people who are facing 25 to life or the death penalty plead. The reason why they plead is, I don't want to die, so I'll take life in prison instead. And the prosecution's like, I don't want to take a chance with the jury, because even if there's a 1% chance.
No, the jury is.
Even if there's a 1% chance, I would rather that. Actually, you know what's true? You'll get plea deals a lot more often with people who are facing like just a set amount of years rather than people who are facing the death penalty or stuff like that. Wait, maybe I'm saying it wrong. My whole point being is like, if you have nothing to lose, like let's say you're an older person, let's say I'm 60 and you're giving me the option of 20 to life. Well, I'm gonna just take my chances with the jury, because if I plead to 20, like how's that I'm gonna be dead. So I'm gonna just go to court. Yeah. But he's also charged with possession with intent to distribute controlled substances. He's had his staff member come to testify. He's had Cassie. He's been caught with this.
Apparently, his fucking baby oil was laced with drugs. Like, what the fuck? How do you even do that?
Substances. Basically, what that means is everyone who was involved in distributing on his behalf with records are all admitting that Diddy was the one who put him up to sending these drugs to other people. So you understand the RICO aspect of it. Diddy is the head of the snake of this organization, giving orders to everyone below him, and they're distributing these drugs. Even though he wasn't selling, it doesn't matter. Was he purchasing in large quantities? Yes. Was he distributing to other people for use? Yes. It's over for him in that regards. Indictment cites multiple offenses involving drugs such as cocaine, oxycodone, ketamine, MDMA, GHB, and others used to control and coerce victims. They were recovered during searches in 2024. Okay, and then the witness tampering stuff I mentioned earlier. Combs and his associates allegedly attempted to silence victims through bribery, threats, and orchestrated false narratives through public allegations, and law enforcement inquiries. Yeah, after public allegations emerged, Combs allegedly paid victims and associates to stay silent, including a $50,000 cash drop. Now that I've gone through everything, the violence is at the heart of this situation. And I think people have to now start to change the way that they view racketeering, the way that they view trafficking, because you have to understand, just because there's true violence between a couple doesn't mean that that violence is only a matter of domestic issues. If you control their career, if you're involving them with sex workers, if you are taking them across state lines to do your bidding, if you're paying, or if you're forcing them to sleep with other people or getting money from it, these no longer stay in the domestic realm, and now that violence goes on to pimping. It goes on to trafficking.
This reminds me of something from Law and Crime that I wanted to watch like a couple days ago until I watched the other one, because it is titled, nigga, I don't want to watch this whole thing. Because the title of it reminded me of what the fuck he's talking about Diddy's pattern of crime. And the first couple seconds of it is like, oh my fucking god. Where is it? It wasn't 3 days ago. Oh, here it is. The one Justin Bieber.
Legal guardianship of him. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go.
That fucking like, well, okay, he always kind of laughed weird, but that was it's just so uncomfortable. Even looking back in this time window, like without the context we know now, it's just so weird.
48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Oh, I don't like that.
Crazy.
When Sean Diddy Combs' properties were raided in March of 2024, there was a lot of speculation about what might be found inside and whether it would be connected to any of his celebrity friends and acquaintances.
It's so uncomfortable. Watching even just that little clip is just like, ugh.
Goes on to all these different things that now they can charge you with much more time with. So anybody who says this is just about domestic violence, you are incredibly wrong. And I want you guys to understand this, because by the time we get to the end of this trial and they're going to give him a guilty verdict, I don't want you to sit there and be like, oh, he was just banging his girl. That's not what's happening here at all. And all the other testimonies from people involved prove that this is not just about that. There's drugs, there's a criminal enterprise, there's him giving orders to his security and his staff to silence people, beat them up, intimidate, threaten them, so he can keep going. I even think that they probably have him on kidnapping. Now you're like, what? How could that be?
Well, the definition of kidnapping is just restraining someone in the place.
Now, when he beat Cassie a few times, there's multiple witnesses that have claimed that he would not let her leave. The reason why is that she had wounds all over her face and he didn't want her to go in public while she looked like that. So he would tell her she had to stay somewhere while she healed. And security guards will testify to this. Assistants will testify to this, including the victims themselves. So when you look at what it takes to get him on racketeering, out of the 6 or 7 things, he pretty much hits almost all of them except for arson. I truly believe
you don't have to have arson.
The best case scenario for Diddy is that there's going to be a mistrial. That's the best case scenario. And the reason why there might be a mistrial is, let's say the prosecution has some kind of crazy misconduct. That's a possibility, which I highly doubt, because federal prosecutors are pretty good about their stuff. The other option is that there's a rogue jury member, and they will be deadlocked no matter what. They want to believe Diddy's not guilty, so they will not say, they will die on that. It happened in many trials. And the reason why I say that is, like, I watched the YNW Melly from start to finish, which is that one ended up in a mistrial. And people couldn't believe, because it was a pretty good case against YNW Melly. What ended up happening is that they spoke to the jury members. They said there was one girl who said, no, the police framed and whatever. She would just refuse to budge. The judge kept telling them, go back to deliberations. 3 days they tried, and they just couldn't. So the judge's like, all right, I release you guys, and I declare mistrial. So now they're retrying YNW Melly.
They're retrying it?
They're going to get him. He's like, based off the evidence, and I watched the court case, he's done for. That's a possibility for this. But there's no way. I cannot believe that they would get 12 people to get there and they would say not guilty on all charges, because none of it is reasonable doubt.
But the thing is,
none of it's reasonable doubt.
Hit me. You're saying that the only way that he could do that.
I said, hit me. And
God damn, dude.
I'm having a good time. Go for it.
Let's say they retry the Diddy. Mm-hmm. They dismiss it. Right, mistrial. Yeah. Mistrial. Mm-hmm. They're gonna run it back.
Of course.
So you're saying the only way that he gets this is if they mistrial it? Mm-hmm. No, because they're gonna run it back.
Yeah.
He's still gonna be in jail. It's not good if they mistrial it.
Yeah.
It's just a delay, really.
There is literally not a chance in hell. Sorry.
Say that again. Why you put your vest on?
I mean, I want to be thematic.
Always trying to bite my style. You see this?
Nah, it's because this is Diddy, bro. Got to make sure you got no shirt on, too. Bad boys for life. We ain't going nowhere.
You see how he's kidnapping?
Except for
he's kidnapping.
We bad boys for life.
Boys being boys.
Now,
but what are you saying?
This case is so high profile, the federal government, they could have gotten him on gun charges, because he had, when they searched his home, they found guns with no serial numbers. Yeah. They could have gotten him on a lot of different things, but I don't think they need to, because a lot of the stuff that they're charging him with now is the most ironclad stuff. The drug thing, you can't get out of. They walk into your hotel room, it was there. He claimed it belonged to a woman he was with. That's never going to fly, because they already have his employees testifying to the fact that they procured stuff for him.
That's never going to fly.
That's never going to fly.
Whose person is going to invite someone in their hotel?
Yeah.
and then the person's just gonna leave a large quantity of drugs and just gonna, you know what, it's okay.
It's over for him. And I think I just want to lay it down for you guys. Lay it down.
Lay it down like Diddy.
Because I think a lot of people don't understand the case, and that's okay. If you don't read the statutes, if you don't read the indictment, you're not going to get it. But I'm telling you, this is a slam dunk case. And I think I'll do another video if you guys want me to discuss the whole Cassie stuff and whether or not she's the perfect victim, the mentality. That's something we could do as well. But did he go into jail? That's all I wanted to say. And hey, listen, I don't mind. Send his ass to jail.
Yeah, I'm on the other.
It was domestic violence.
It was.
It was. It was
partially.
just domestic violence. And the people that are saying that is because that's the only thing that they read. They don't read into it like you do.
Yeah.
You have to understand how people are incredibly lazy with this thing. The
thing is, you don't have to read that far into it. You really fucking don't. You don't even have to like read it all. Just listen to the testimony. Watch the news. She'll say everything's out there. It's not that difficult. But people are fucking
they're
stupid.
lazy and they don't want to read into things.
That too.
People love. They say like, "Yo, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover," but all the people are doing is judging books by covers.
I've said this before. Don't judge a book by its cover, but then how you gonna know what's in the book, right? Or how you know what's the book's about? You know, if it's a blank cover, I'm not gonna open the fucking book. I don't care what it's about, right? I don't know. It's a really weird thing because you should definitely judge. Judging is a survival tactic.
You know what I mean? They don't even read the back. They just be like, that's how I feel. They base an opinion before reading the facts. I think that's a societal problem. That's a societal problem that we have. Basing your opinion before even hearing the facts or whatever. That's what we're doing. Yeah. That's it's been happening. You know understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised when I see people that are saying, yeah, it's just this, is just that. They don't know shit about fuck. Yeah. But everybody's gonna know shit about fuck and not know the facts. But they're gonna be able to base their opinion on it. And that's there's a lot of people from the hip hop community are doing that. All they say is facts all day, but all they how they operate is their feelings all night. You know what I mean? That's what they do. And it's just when they have that opinion, it's just we saw that the hotel room thing, domestic violence. You don't know the rest. You haven't read into the rest. And sometimes it's really futile to argue with these people because they don't base themselves on facts.
To be fair to them, though, a lot of the commentators who are talking about this situation are the ones disseminating this information. I don't expect most people to look at the minutes that are being offered by the court reporters and all that stuff. I don't expect people to do that. A lot of commentators on this are super lazy when it comes to the research that they're doing. And they're doing like the most surface level, what's the counter narrative that I can give in terms of a take and it's going to get me views. But go read the stuff. I promise you, you will look at this. Most lawyers who have read through this thing will tell you he going to jail. And you have to remember who's prosecuting this. Federal prosecutors are not to be played with. The reason why is they got an insane amount of resources. It's not state level. These motherfuckers got all the money in the world. These people have all kinds of technology. They can enlist local states to help them with all this stuff involved. And if the federal prosecutors come to your door asking for information, like people ask this question, why is nobody else being charged with the RICO? There's two possibilities. One, they're going to charge a lot of his employees after the fact. Two, they're using plea deals with every single one of these people to get Diddy. And I'll be honest with you, if I worked with Diddy, I didn't really like him, but I did some dirty shit. Prosecutors come to my door, testify, you're going to jail with him. I'm snitching. And every one of his employees right now are snitching on him. If you don't think that they don't have damning evidence about him, you are misguided.
It's really like, knock, knock, knock. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, hi. We're federal. You know the people that print the money?
Yes.
Okay, yes. What do you got? It's like you're saying that they got amounts, big amounts of money. They print the money.
Yeah.
They do whatever the hell they want. So, yeah, everybody's snitching. Everybody is snitching.
Everybody. So again,
I'm not throwing you under the bus. I'm driving it.
You have to remember that prosecutors generally, when they're doing these kinds of violent crimes and these levels of charges, they already are operating on home field advantage. And the reason why is people have a general negative feeling right away when they see a criminal and violence. And you can't get away from the video of him beating her. So already their minds are going to be incredibly affected by that. And what's going to weigh in their mind is the fact that, like, are we going to let this man who beats on people repeatedly in the most vicious manner in public out on the streets, that's going to be something they're going to ask themselves. Now, they shouldn't, but you can't get out of that part of the psyche. That video is probably one of the more damning pieces of evidence against him in terms of how it affects, because like numbers, all these things, that's one thing. But when you watch that video, for the average person who's not online every day, they see that beating and they're like, I don't want that man on the streets.
When you saw that baseball throw of a vase,
yes,
yeah,
you're like, there's another person at the end of that throw.
Yeah,
and it's not a mitt.
That video is going to make it very easy for these people to sleep well at night when they find him guilty.
100%.
It's like, oh, you might have gotten it wrong. Well, this is the guy who beats women all the time. I won't lose sleep over that.
Nope.
And the defense is crazy. The defense is essentially, we know he's a bad guy. We know he beats women, but that's not what this. If that's your defense,
that's crazy,
bro.
That's crazy.
You are already on lose. You are starting with minus 20 points in a football game, and there's 2 quarters left,
and you're not in possession of the ball.
So it's just you guys have. This is. I commend the defense lawyers because they're trying everything to discredit a lot of the witnesses. But unfortunately, just from the testimony I've seen so far, have they poked hole in certain things? Have they maybe given motivation? Sure. But you know what they haven't done? They haven't made them out to be liars.
Bro.
They haven't had them yet perjure themselves. And so with all that in mind, I'm like, if you can't do it on the most important witnesses so far, you toast.
Bro, they know.
Yeah.
They 100% know.
Yeah.
They
like I really think that people must have forgot that Osama bin Laden's lawyer left Diddy's team, saying he can't do it. So
they're like, I'm gonna do that because that's my job.
Yeah,
but I'm not winning that one.
What do you think is the best way for Diddy to get off? I have one theory.
Get off. I think he puts the baby oil on his dick, and then after that, he wants like we already know the nipple stuff, right?
Fair. I actually was gonna say looking at pictures of Tupac's corpse, but
what would Biggie say?
I was gonna say with a rope.
I don't know. Ask Diddy. He killed him. He's the last person to know.
Exactly.
I actually think it's Trump. Trump been handing out pardons like cotton candy.
Nah, but he's no
Diddy's way.
Black. Diddy's black.
And he's actually giving
He
gave a pardon. He gave a pardon to Mayor Adams.
It doesn't matter. Mayor Adams is in politics and he can do something about that. It's like giving an award. If Trump was presenting an award to Kendrick, the way that they didn't like the Super Bowl halftime show, it's like that they see Diddy in this. It's like this is no, I'm not gonna do that. It's not gonna him pardoning Diddy doesn't help his fan base.
I disagree. He already did it for a few other rappers so far.
Who?
I think Kodak Black.
The rapper that was praising him.
But my whole point is Diddy. That's all he needs to do. He needs to do that and do some donations.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Maybe not because of how profile this is, but I'm saying that's his best odds. That's what I truly believe.
But then again, Trump is crazy, so he might do it. But he won't. He won't. He really
I don't think
He's
the race
not
factor.
doing that.
Trump only cares about who makes him feel good and who's paying his pockets. So he's actually let off a lot of criminals, people who are literally already found guilty of theft, of fraud, or a lot of that. He's already gotten them off. So I'm saying this is actually, and I actually read an article recently that Diddy's team are actually looking to Trump for a pardon.
That's insane.
And I actually think if he did it, for his base, it would actually be quite popular.
This guy really said Diddy ass. That's crazy. You heard that. Right. Diddy ass.
Anyway, let us know what y'all think in the comments.
Shit. Like, wrong button. I really don't think that this trial needs 8 weeks. I truly don't. I mean, I'm curious.